What up, people?
What's up?
What's going on, brother?
How y'all doing?
You doing all right, man? Doing all right, man? How about you?
I
What's
am
going on?
moving. I'm moving quick. I'm
Yeah.
at my house right now.
Where you at?
I've been
You in New York right now?
Yeah, I'm in Harlem. I'm on my block.
Okay, okay. So I got my special guest co-host on me, Katrina, with me tonight. And if y'all don't know who this is Terrell T-Rex Simon, man, the king of R&G himself, man. So
That's what they say, right?
that's right. So let's get into it, man. So first and foremost, man, how did you come up? Like, where did you get the name T-Rex from, man?
You know what? A lot of people ask me that. Where did you get that name from? First of all, let me tell you, I'm not creative enough to even think of a nickname like that. But years and years ago, when I first started in the youth business, I started working with this guy named Life Jennings. And I was about 20, 21, kind of nerdy, didn't really, have like no swag and nothing like that. Just kids love to sing. So, I used to get teased a lot. And Life was like, yo, you the only guy in the crew without a nickname. Right. And I was like, yeah, I'm Terrell. Right. Okay, I'm home now.
All right.
So,
so we was talking like, about how'd you get your name?
T-Rex. He was like, man, we're gonna call you T-Rex. I was like, T-Rex? Back then, we had a slang term that it would be like, you a beast. You a beast. So when he hired me, that's he used to be like, man, you a beast, man, you a beast. So my name is Terrell, and I'm a beast. So he took the T, because the T-Rex is a dinosaur, and that's how that all came about.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
So people just started coming to me like, yo, Rex, and I'm T-Rex. I'm just like, how you know my name T-Rex? Well, Life told me your name is T-Rex. Right. And I went with it. But I'm gonna tell you this, it was awesome because it gave me, I don't know, it kind of like stood me out a little bit because everywhere I would go, people wouldn't forget that name. They'd be like, T-Rex, how T-Rex is there, Right. So that's how I went with it. And I went and looked on his album one day, and it said, on his credits, it said, background vocals, Terrell T-Rex Simon. And that's how I came up with my stage name. Okay.
So you already had
Pick up the right Jennings. Thank you, Life. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be T-Rex without him, I would have never thought of that.
Shout out to Life. Shout out to Life, man. All right, man. So I know you grew up in the church pretty much. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing and how was that,
Yeah, I grew up in a praying church home, typical Southern black home. Right. I hated church, and the only thing I really liked about the whole service was the singing part. Okay. When they started singing, I would wake up, and then any other time I'd probably be asleep. Right. So, but I didn't grow up in New York City. I grew up in a small neighborhood in New York. It's called Troy, New York. Nobody probably never heard of Troy, New York.
Yeah, never heard of Troy.
When people say New York, you automatically think like the whole New York is just like lights and popping. But I come from, it's the countryside of New York. And so I grew up there just with a big dream, regular kid, singing in the church around town, and I'm the only child, but just a lot of music around me. My mom was musical, so she was always playing music. And my granddad sang in the choir, my grandma sang in the choir. So kind of how I grew up. Big family. Regular kid, regular life.
Gotcha, man. So at what point did you feel like, you wanted to step out and, jump into the music industry? Like, you know what, this is something I want to do. I got this talent. Like, when did you feel, where did you feel like, hey, I got some talent and I want to step out and do this? At what point?
I mean, I always loved to sing. I actually used to dance.
Okay.
I wanted to be a dancer, and then I found out that I could sing. But when I decided seriously to take it serious, I went through a period where like I was just in the streets selling drugs, and I just went crazy for a little while. And
Right.
it was a bad experience I had in the streets with these drug dealers. I'm young, trying to be hip. I took these guys' drugs, lost the drugs. They come try to kill me. Like it was crazy. And my grandmother came to me and she was like, "Man, you need to come to this revival." And I went to this revival, and that night, like, my life just changed. It's like God came in that revival and was like, "Boy, you better change your life. You out here trying to be cool, be a thug, and be a drug dealer and all this other stuff. And you ain't even got what it takes, bro. You done lost the drugs now. You got these niggas running after you, trying to kill you.
Right.
You not even a real thug, bro. You know you a church boy." So that night, I went there and I said, "You know what, God, I'm going to change my life." I give it up. And that's when I kind of started. It was like, you know what, I could sing. And I started taking it seriously, and I started, running around singing. But I graduated from high school, and I moved to New York City because I was just like, I know I got to get to New York City. And that's kind of like when I moved to New York City. I didn't have no family here. I packed my car up. I was like, "I'm out. Bye, Mom."
Right.
They're like, "Oh, you be back." I'll be back here. I'm out of here. And, I just moved to New York, and I started like going to every open mic that I could go to, wherever I could be heard, wherever I could be seen. And that's how I ended up, long story short, meeting Life Jennings.
Okay. That's what's up, man. So pretty much you always knew you wanted to be a singer. If you wasn't a singer, what did you see yourself doing? Like, did you see yourself doing anything else if that wasn't an option for you?
Nope, no plan B.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
You know what I'm saying? I knew this is what God had called me to do, and I was just waiting for the manifestation of it,
Yeah.
But I did tell God, I was like, "Yo, I'm 22. I'm about to be 23. If I turn 24 and don't nothing happen, I'm going to go to school."
Yeah.
And try to get my life together, because I'm 24. Everybody tired of giving me money. I'm tired of sleeping on people's floor. I'm tired of looking like this needy kid. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to do music. Like, I need to really, like, if 24 don't happen, like, I better go to college, like, do something so that I can get an income and, like, have my own, money, my own place to live, because it just started getting funny. My friends talking about me. "Oh, he ain't got no money. He broke. He staying on somebody's car. Broke. So it got crazy. So what happened was, and this is the honest to God truth.
Okay.
The day that I said, "You know what? I'm going home," I got a call from Ashanti.
Word, really?
Shanti called me.
Lord Jesus.
Yes. I have been friends with Ashanti choreographer. Big up to Bryce Vick. You guys got to get Bryce on here.
Okay.
And Bryce was like, "Yo, Ashanti need background singers, And, she said, you could come, da-da-da-da-ba. And he put me on the line with Ashanti, and we sang for her, like, over the phone. And she was like, "Oh, I love y'all, da-da-da-da." And we were rehearsing, and I was getting ready to start with Ashanti, and I met Life. So God sometimes, it might not be the thing, but he'll show you
that
I can do anything at any time, whenever I want.
That's right.
One phone. It's only one phone call, and that Ashanti thing only lasted a week, and then I ended up meeting Life, and I had the decision: should I go to Ashanti or should I go to Life? And my heart just was like, I felt like I was needed more with the Life camp.
Right.
Ashanti was already platinum, and I seen how people was coming and going, and I just wanted to be somewhere where I knew I could be an asset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got you, man. So what are some of the obstacles
you quiet over there, co-host? What's going on? Huh? What's going on? You gonna ask a question?
She about to bring it to you.
I bet she is. She over there studying. She's like, okay, Rex, I got you. I got you, Rex. You know what? Let me send this live to everybody in my DM, so we can get some people in here.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Anybody else on this live? Go ahead and share it.
I love doing interviews, man. You know, it's just, you know, people get to see you behind, you know, the real you, just behind all the other stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So let's see who comes in. I'm inviting my whole, not everybody, but my whole. We're getting ready for the co-host.
That's right. That's right.
Don't get ready for me. Don't do that.
All right. All right.
So I was going into what are some of the obstacles you felt like you had going, you know, facing, you know, jumping in this industry? Like, what are some of the obstacles you were facing?
Stepping into this industry, obstacles I was facing. I think obstacle, I wouldn't really call it an obstacle. I would just say it was more of a patience kind of thing, of learning to develop patience and just like to be able to go through the process without giving up. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I had the talent. I knew, you know, I had the gift or whatever. But it was just it was a matter of timing. And when that time was going to come, and just asking God to, like, just give me the patience to keep working until I feel like, you know, I could have until that time comes. But I honestly, I'm not going to say I had any obstacles. I'm gonna say that one of the big obstacles I had in coming up was moving to New York City, not knowing anybody, and having to fend for myself.
Right.
You know, not having a job, not being able to pay for the studio time, because in order for you to get a deal, like, you got to get in the studio. Yeah. In order to get in the studio, you got to have money. So, you know, some obstacles that us independent artists run into is just not having the funds to live and put the money forth to do, you know, what we want to do at the same time.
Right.
So I think that probably was an obstacle, you know, just moving to New York City. Because I always tell people, you got to go to where it's at. I mean, now we have online. There's so much online stuff. But back then, we didn't have all this. You know, so if you wasn't in New York City, or you wasn't in LA, or you wasn't in Atlanta, like, what's the chances of somebody coming to Nutbush, Tennessee to see you? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, even Tina had to get out of Nutbush, Tennessee. She moved to wherever her family was. You know, you got to go to where it was. So I think a lot of artists, a lot of us are talented, you know, and I think a lot of artists go through this, and we just stuck somewhere where we can't really get to people or be as visible as, you know, we want to be.
Gotcha. So, what were some of your favorite artists coming up, man? Like, who did you look up to coming up, man?
You already know. Dave Hollister.
Yeah.
Lately I've been thinking something's going on because you got an attitude. Come on, bro.
Hey.
It don't get no better than Dave.
That's it right there.
But Dave Hollister, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, and you know I come from the church, so I love Karen Clark. I love the Clark sisters. You know, I love the riff. I love to do all the tricky stuff. So Kim Burrell, Karen. But though Dave, and you know I just did the remix.
Yeah.
The queen of hip hop and soul.
Hey,
you
MJ.
Mary-J-Blige.
Yeah.
You know my new song. It was a personal. It was a public letter that I wrote to her. I don't know if she heard it yet, but
we gonna get into that.
Co-host.
Yeah, we gonna get into that. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So, basically, growing up in the church, did you feel like you had to do gospel music, or you was like, you know what, I still want to, like, because I know you do you do a merge of both, but did you feel like you had to incorporate gospel in it?
Well, honestly, bro, I felt like gospel was the only thing that I could sing.
Yeah.
Because, and I tell people this a lot, you know, they go, that's that worldly music. You going to hell.
Right.
You go out there singing that. Oh, God ain't pleased. You know, so that's how I grew up. I grew up. Somebody said RNG. I grew up scared to sing anything that was not gospel music.
Right.
But as I started getting older and God started like just revealing more to me, I kind of became defiant. You know, I don't know, when you're young, I think it's something about going against the grain. You know, they'd be like, oh, don't do that. And that'd be the thing that you want to do.
Right.
So I kind of like got into that mode. And then I started coming to find out, like, you know, from talking to different preachers and things like that, like, it was okay. Like, is everybody going to hell? That's like Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, everybody going to hell? Like, everybody that sing R&B music is going to hell? And that's how I was brought up, and that's what I was brought up to believe.
Right.
Which led me, you know, because I was singing background for a while, touring with Neyo and even Dave Hollister at one point. Life Jennings. I was touring as a background singer. But when it came time me to do my own music, I was like, what do I want to represent as myself? Do I want to be an R&B singer? No. Or do I want to be true to who I am, you know? Because anytime I go somewhere and try to front and be something else, they be like, oh, you a church boy.
Right.
So you want to be real with people because people see and we know. Like when I see somebody fronting and that's not really them, I say it. I'm like, oh, that ain't that. He fronting. He know it.
Oh,
and I didn't want to be that guy. So that's how I came up with R&G. I was just like, you know what? It's gospel and it's hip hop. Who I am. I love gospel, but I really love hip hop. And that's how I came up with R&G. My cousin Mondo is on here. What up, Mondo?
And I think
I'm a live person. I got mad energy. So, you know, excuse me.
And I like the kind of thing of R&G because, you know, you basically have your own lane of things. I mean, there's nobody in your lane of what you're doing right now. You know, you got the hip hop, mix it with the gospel, man. So I respect that. So I do like that, man. So
yeah, man. And you know, I don't feel like I'm competing with nobody. I just feel like I'm not looking at nobody seeing what they're doing and then trying to do better. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing my own thing.
That's what's up, man. I respect that. how do you feel about the current state of, you know, music and gospel in general? Like, how do you feel about the current state of that?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of great music out there. Jasmine Sullivan just put out a crazy R&B album. Like, people are putting out great music, but the reason why it's not reaching the masses is because, you know, the white man, they say the white man, the guy that's up at the top is not exposing it like it used to be exposed.
Right.
So it's great music out there. It's just not pushed in your face. Like, you have to go and you have to look for it.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna say, I'm not gonna down R&B and say that people are not out here putting out great R&B music, because it is. It's out there. People are doing. It's a lot of great new R&B guys that are coming out. You know.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of great R&B music out there. So I love what's going on with R&B. Big up to Jasmine Sullivan, and, you know, just all these guys that are like keeping it alive. Mary-J-Blige's new album. It's a lot of great R&B out there.
Yeah.
Here with me. Hey! Anderson .Paak, you know, Bruno Mars. You know, and they say he's pop, you know, but I mean, music, just great music that touches the soul.
Yeah. It is. We do got some good music out here right now, so yeah, I feel you on that one. Katrina?
What's your favorite gospel? Like, what's your favorite old school gospel song, and then a favorite like new gospel song?
Okay, now that's a great question. Nobody has ever asked me that. My favorite old school gospel song. Wow, that's a good question. Phew. Because there's so many. But, you know, I could do a lot of solos as a kid, and I can say my favorite old school would be Blessed Assurance. Yeah. I'm a hymn kind of guy. I like hymns. Blessed Assurance, you know. Those hymns are just like, I don't know, they're so special. They mean so much, because it's like these guys that wrote these hymns, you could tell they come from it's not fancy, it's not doing a lot of tricks, it's just, but you can tell that they come from just a great place. So Blessed Assurance, you know, all of those, I Won't Complain, all of those kind of old records, like, I really love. And my favorite new gospel record? I'm a big Kirk Franklin fan. It's so many, like, yo, that's a hard question.
Do you like the Maverick City, Kirk Franklin?
I'm gonna say, you know what? My favorite new gospel song is my song.
Your song?
I got a record out called The Storm. The Storm is a ministry.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that it's on Sirius XM right now. Kirk Franklin is spinning like a lot, is doing really great numbers, and I think The Storm. I think Trials and Tribulations come to make us better. That's one of my favorites. So my old would be like hymns. Like, I'm a hymn guy. Like, I love hymns. And to this day, I'm not being like conceited or nothing, but The Storm is the record.
And he's feeling
that is a dope record.
It is. What do you feel like you bring to the industry?
I feel like I bring non-judgmental gospel music. I feel like it's a lot of guys on my block that don't even go to church, that I don't know if they believe in God or not, but they love the music. And I think that the church, we have put up so many restrictions on what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. And if you do that, God don't love you. And if you do this, God don't love you. The Bible talks about there's no You can't. You could cross every T and dot every I, and it still will not be great enough for God. You could be the most Jesus's person in the world. You can walk around with angels all on your head and just say everything nice and and do everything good, and it still will not be enough to please God.
Right.
Right though.
Still won't be enough. So no matter how great you think you are, we all are in the same boat. The preacher and the prostitute in the corner, God loves them the same. He don't love the preacher more because he's in the pulpit preaching. He loved the prostitute more. He say, I carry more to the backslider, you know. So
preacher Sean.
Hey.
Yeah, I ain't trying to. Y'all gonna have me preaching here. I ain't trying to preach. But God loves us all the same, man, and we all equal. We all equal in His eye. Yep. So I think I bring that, and I think people see that, and they like. So you mean I can have a drink and God still love me? Yes. Because you having a drink, you trying to tell me that God, you have lesser privileges than the preacher over here? You know, he might be blessing the preacher a little bit more because he's obeying, but that don't mean that he loves him any less than that they love you, that he loves you. So I think that's what I bring. I think people see that, they see the realness, because I'm real. I don't hide, but I ain't being fake out here. And that's what a lot of Christians are. They, you know, let me tell you something. I had a conversation with my grandmother the other day. I always thought she was this holy lady that never did nothing wrong. And she started telling me some of the stuff that I was just like, why y'all don't tell people this? Y'all make it seem like y'all were just so perfect, y'all never did anything wrong. Why y'all don't tell people that y'all made mistakes and that you were out in the world and that you did this so that they could feel like they not a misfit? Y'all hide all that stuff. And that's the stuff that y'all need to be letting people see that, look, you know what? I was like this, but God changed me. Yes. This could happen.
Amen.
You know, my grandma tell me some stories. I was like, oh, there's nothing new under the sun. Y'all was acting up in South Carolina back in the day.
Oh, man.
I know the money is not the same in like the gospel industry, like R&B and hip hop. They make way more money. But like, what keeps you grounded, like to sing for God? Like,
I'm gonna tell you, that's where a lot of misconception is. There's way more money in gospel than there is R&B.
Oh, wow.
R&B, you're only as good. Your money is only as good as the current single that you have out.
Right.
Okay.
Once that single goes away, a radio station and concert promoters want to bring you to their town when you're on the radio and you hot, or if they feel like you got a great audience. But that money starts dwindling down. Gospel music, there's a church on every corner in every city. You get one great record, you will be able to travel and go to churches until you die. It's way, and that's a misconception I had. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do R&B because there's more money in R&B. Whenever you heard of Karen Clark going broke, when you heard of Marvin Sapp going broke,
never.
Have you heard any church artists talking about bankruptcy?
No.
After making millions and millions of dollars?
Yeah, you're right about that.
So
you all right. I didn't even think about it that way.
That's the big misconception that people have, that there's more money in R&B. It's quicker up money that you get quick. But over the long run, you'll find out that gospel artists are more sustainable and are still making money to this day. And it don't stop.
Hey.
Church don't care if you got hit on the radio. You get a church one good song that they can dance and get delivered on, you will be traveling to every church until you can't travel no more. And the hip hop and R&B business, they want to use you up, and while you got a great single, they want to pass you around. But if you don't come with the next record, you will be sitting at home doing nothing. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
Nah, so once I learned that, you know what I'm saying, I was just like, you know, not only is I'm singing music that's gonna uplift people, but I'm also gonna be able to have a lifeline, a timeline to make money, because they don't want to see me because I got a hit record on the radio. You know what I'm saying? They want to see me because I'm blessing folk.
Right. I know in 2015 you was nominated for 4 Stellar Awards. How did that make you feel?
Okay, so it wasn't 2015.
That was
it was this year.
That was this year.
This year.
I'm current. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you where she got that from. In 2015, I was nominated for Steeple Awards, and the Steeple and the Stellars, it doesn't sound the same, right? Steeple Stellars. I had just came out as an artist in 2015. I just brought RNG to the scene, and to be and Steeples are just, that's like right up there, right under the Stellar Awards. It was amazing because I don't know, like, just to be not, and I think I was like the only independent artist. I was up against, what's that chick out that's out right now? She's gospel, but she has that R&B. Like, she was in the category. It was a couple of people in the category, and I won Best New Artist. So that was dope. But the Stellar Awards is this year, man.
How you feel about that?
Huh?
How you feel about the Stellar Awards?
Well, honestly, I didn't even think they knew who I was. And I don't really care. I'm not really an award person. Like, I'm not doing it for no award. Even though it is great to be recognized, you know, I ain't gonna lie and be like, I don't want no award. I'm just doing this because, I mean, my assistant Katina called me and she was like, "Are you sitting down?" I was like, "What's going on?" Yeah, I was just like, wow. Because you just imagine, like, there probably was hundreds and thousands of artists that came out last year. And to be in the top 10 of all of that, like, was amazing.
Yeah, that's big, man.
I didn't win, but I understand the game and I understand why I didn't win. I'm independent, and I was the only independent one in there. And you know, you got these guys signed on these record labels, and it's payola. There's a lot of payola going on behind the scenes, you know. And if you a label, you want to make sure. And I don't have a label. I don't have a budget. Like, I just put the album out on my own, you know. So to be nominated for Stellar, that's like the gospel Grammys. To a gospel singer, to be nominated for a Stellar Award is like the best you could get. And you know what? I was glad I didn't win. I was like, you know what, God, I'm glad I didn't win. Because the turtle always catches up to the rabbit eventually.
Right.
And I don't want to peak, you know, because what if I win the Stellar? Now, what else do I have to look up? What else do I have to look for? It's my first album.
You're right.
Let me put another. I don't want to get it. Like, I'm the turtle. Let me slowly peak, you know, so I can say I haven't done that yet. And I know I still got room to grow. I still got, like, room to go. So I'm glad I didn't win.
At least you got nominated. That was still a blessing too.
Yeah, Rex, you know, you a winner. You won anyway. You know, so. But I mean, I still can't even believe I'm an artist and I have my own music out. Like, that was like, you know, far-fetched.
Yeah, but your music is dope. like you touching people with your music and stuff like that. So even if
Thank
you
you.
didn't
I
win, you know
appreciate
what I'm
it.
saying? You're welcome. Your
And
album. Oh, go ahead.
now I'm just gonna say that's what it's all about.
Yeah, you're right. Your album, number 8, New Beginnings. My favorite song on that album was in His Image. What is your
Yeah.
yeah?
That's
I
my
ain't gonna
song
lie,
right there.
that thing was dope. That thing was dope, son.
That's the record. Let me tell you something. The
That's my
radios,
song.
they still playing that record.
Is that that's your favorite, like your favorite record on the album, or like
On that 8 New
I mean,
Beginnings?
yeah?
Yeah.
Why
That
though?
was the first ever record I put out.
It was.
In His Image. And then I did the video and I had like a million dancers behind me. I wanted to show that, you know what I'm saying, I was a dancer and I could dance.
Got the
But
little
that was
bob.
the first
Too
record.
stealth.
That was the first record I put out. And Music Choice. I got my own Pandora station from it. Sirius XM. And I won those in 2015. I won the Steeple Award because of that record. And to this day, that's a timeless, and that's what I'm all about, making timeless music. No matter what year I put it out, like music that just gonna stick with you. And I thought that was a universal message.
Mm-hmm.
No matter your height, weight, color, religion, whatever, he made us all in His image. We can do anything, you know, and
You already
Right.
know.
it just went up.
I know. My favorite song from you is "Above Water" with featuring T Soul.
And guess
Like,
who's on his way to my house? Oh man, if he would have been here, he could have got on the live.
That would have been dope.
Let me send a request to T Soul real quick.
Go ahead. Like, what
See
inspired
if we
you with that song though?
see if we can get him on here. I just sent T Soul a request. Let's see if he answers. My producer had COVID and like near death experience.
Wow.
Bernie Stevenson, that produces all my records. And it was just scary. You know, COVID had hit us out here. We didn't even know COVID was out. Niggas passing out and dying. I think I had it. I didn't even know what it was, you know, before they actually announced that it was COVID. And we didn't know what was gonna happen. And he made it through, and he called me and was like, Rex, I got this record called Above Water. I want you to hear it. And he played the record for me, and I just immediately started crying. I'm not gonna cry.
If you do, hey.
I'm not gonna cry. So he sent me this record, and I was just like, we gotta record it.
Yeah.
And we did. And that's how that record came about.
I loved it.
Don't break it.
I didn't plan on. So me and T Soul, a lot of people know T Soul from The Voice, but me and T Soul, I had T Soul on tour with me before anybody knew who he was. I had him travel with me as an opening act with Life Jennings and Shalik. You know, I managed an artist named Shalik, and T Soul called me one day. He was like, Rex, I'm in New York, and I was like, I was working on the album. I was like, bro, I'm working on my album. I got a song for you. You here? Let's go. So it was just like on the spur of the moment. And he came to the studio and he recorded it. And that record is so powerful. And big up to T Soul, man. We compliment each other. You know, we wasn't trying to out riff and out sing each other on a record. Like, we just did we went in there to do, and it was amazing. So big up to T Soul.
Shout out T Soul. Shout out T Soul.
Yeah.
He's one of the reasons my album is nominated for Stellar. Like, you know, they nominate the whole album. It wasn't just The Storm. Like, they was like, yo, this album is the whole album is just like a great work. So if y'all don't got the album, make sure y'all go and get it. It's a dope album.
I'll go get that album.
What's your favorite song to perform live?
Can You Stand the Rain by New Edition.
Okay.
My little version, if y'all you didn't see my version though, I slow it all the way down, like I'm in church, and it's like solo. But I come in my show, I come out hype. I'm up, I'm jumping around, and then I go back. I go off the stage. The band's still playing, and then the lights come down and slow it down. They pull a stool out. And that for me is just like so intimate. I'm able to come back out, sit down, sit on that stool, and days. Everybody, they love it. You know, it's just like, so that's my favorite song to perform. Other than that, Frank Sinatra. I do this Frank Sinatra song called My Way. And did it my way. Like, anytime I sing that record, you know how Whitney Houston did the Dolly Parton, I Will Always Love You? She like finessed it and made it soulful. Like, that's what I do with My Way. And any time I sing that record, the whole house is done. And I'm almost done. You know, Frank Sinatra was a great songwriter, and y'all just have to listen to the words. He just talks about making mistakes, but making his own mistakes, not making a mistake because that's what it was your idea. No, I made the mistake because it was my idea, and I can die and live with the fact that I did it because it was me that wanted to do it, and I suffered whatever decision I made. Like, it was because of me. It was my way. I didn't do it because my mom, you know, and that's about being a man. Like, that record is deep. So
Your two favorite
that's
songs.
one of my favorite records.
Bad. What is an artist that you would love to work with that you haven't?
Mary-J-Blige.
I knew you were about to say that.
Hey.
You know what? And I'm gonna keep saying it until it happens. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Listen, but let me tell you this. Mary little brother, Brucey, he's not little no more. He wrote Family Affair. He's one of my best friends. And I also work with I've worked with Mary's sister, LaTanya. But I didn't become friends with them to be talking about Mary. You know, we had a visit, and that's my friend. And he don't want to have no friend that's, can you hit me on Mary? Like, when Mary when she come to town, I get my own ticket. I go sit in my own seat. I just went and seen Mary last week. But Mary-J-Blige, Dave Hollister. Now, I've toured with Dave as a background singer, and I went on tour with him last year. I was his opening act. But we haven't done a record yet together.
That'd be dope if y'all do one.
It really would be.
So Mary and Dave, and you know, Dave started out as Mary background singer. So, you know.
Hey, go ahead now. So
you know who I like? You know who I really digging these days though? Anderson .Paak. I think Anderson .Paak is.
That's the one musician. From what's the doggone?
Him and Bruno Mars had to back it out.
Yeah.
He's from Brooklyn. He's a musician and he's a singer. Like, it's just soulful, just so gifted and talented. Yeah. So Anderson .Paak, definitely.
So with that, I heard that remix you did with Mary-J-Blige. Good morning. Yeah. So what inspired you to do the remix? We're gonna talk about that now.
Well, you know what? I call my producer, and I only work with one producer. I have one producer that has produced and written. Me and him do all my records. We just have that bond, and I love putting like my life into the music. Like, we don't get in a room and be like, "Ooh, that sounds good. We should do that." Nah, we get in a room and we sit down and we have long conversations about what I'm going through, blah 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 blah, and then he turns around and we turn around and we put it into songs. So I said, you know, Mary got that record. We should do a remix. I love Mary, and I said, you know what? This would be Mary might hear it. You know, I'm trying to get her attention without going through her brother and sister. You know, like I'm trying to go another way. You know, without actually having to go through the family. You know, and he was like, okay. So he sent me the record back. So I didn't write the record, but because we've been a team for so long, like he know me, he know my voice, you know, and we talked about it. He put exactly what we talked about. And he's like, you know what, instead of remixing it, why don't we write her a letter? Mm. And he played it for me, and I was just like, Mary, here's your letter, public. Here's a public letter to Mary. Can somebody get Mary this letter? And when I put it out, everybody just went crazy. They was just like, bro, that's better than the remix that she has out with the her chick. And then fellas one of my fellas was like, bro, I could sing along with the song now. You know, it's a little girlish for me, but now that you put the record out, like now I could sing. So I got guys hitting me like, yo, good morning, gorgeous, you know. So that is amazing. And y'all I'm gonna do some more Mary stuff soon.
Hey, yeah, man.
That first little note you did when you first
personal
came in
there. Has anybody ever wrote somebody a personal letter publicly in a song?
No.
The king of RNG.
They do that after they pass. You know.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, I didn't start calling myself that either. T.I. gave me that. I tell people all the time, because you know, I don't want people to think I'm this vain person that just started calling myself the king. T.I. gave me that name. And when he said it, that's when I started saying it. So big up to T.I.
Shout out T.I.
You know, he called himself King something. So he was like, King Orange. I was like, oh, you right. T.I.
Yeah. Yep, you do.
Yeah.
So you was featured on the song Freedom with what's the Sadir?
Sadir.
Listen, that song, that's a powerful song right there, man. How did that collab come about? You know?
That collab came about during COVID. A lot of stuff, like my album, I did during COVID. When a lot of people was in the house, not doing nothing, I was working. I was making videos, making music. I said, this is the time that people need to hear it. And somebody hit me and they said, you know what? They said, you know, Stevie Wonder did the keys of that album, the keys, during the biggest depression in the world.
Yes.
They say, oh, you know what? Don't do an album now because you won't be able to get out and promote it. You know, you do an album, they want you to be able to get out and promote it. And it comes a time where it's just like, okay, what's more? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this to get out and promote it, or why am I really doing music? It's to heal people, and this is a time that I felt like people needed healing. So that's when I worked on my album, the package. I didn't care if I couldn't get out promoted. And look, Stella nominated. And they told me Stevie Wonder did the same thing with that album. They were telling him, oh, don't put the album out. The record comes. You won't be able to get out promoted. And Stevie was like, I don't care about promoting it. People need to hear this right now. And Sadir came to me. He's a friend of mine. And I tell people all the time, he's the one that actually helped me come up with the RNG, the whole RNG thing. And he's my stage manager. You know, he helps me. He actually, and he does my videos. He did the video for the Good Morning Gorgeous video. He's just a talented guy, a great friend that I keep with me, and he's just multi-talented. He came to me with this song because he had been trying to do a song with me forever. You know, he my best friend, and Rex, like, why we ain't got a record yet? Nigga, 5-6 years, man. Nigga, you doing music, we ain't got a record yet. Why you doing records with everybody? Why we ain't got a record? And sometimes you have to wait on God. Even though your friends could be in a certain position, never depend and run on your friends and think that they the ones that need to be helping you and bringing you up. It's God that does that does all of that.
Amen.
You just gotta work, let people see you work, and just do your thing, and gotta make it happen. So 6 years later, he came to me, and I'm like, oh, okay. And at that time, it was so much going on. Trump was president. He was just leaving the White House. It was just a lot going on that I just wanted to get off my chest. You know what I'm saying? We had put the Black Lives Matter down in Harlem. You know, we got the man, everybody, we painted the Black Lives Matter. It was just a lot I needed to get off my chest. And freedom at the time was just like an outlet for me to be like, ah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've seen the video, but I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting what's off my chest. Like, so big up to Sadir. He came to me with that record. And still to this day, that record, we perform it. Freedom. That's all we want. And it just talks about, you know, all the stuff that us Black folks still going through. You know, we thinking that all the slavery and all the prejudice stuff is over, but it ain't over. It's actually probably even worse right now than it was back in the 60s.
Yeah.
You know? So freedom was just an outlet for me to get off my chest what I need to get off my chest. And the video shows it all. You know what I'm saying?
So you was in Tyler Perry, The Storm is the Ministry. How was that experience? And you know, would you do some more acting and stuff like that?
Yeah, you know, the song came from the play.
Yeah.
I wanted to have the song was for the play. The play was over. And I was just like, so nobody's ever gonna hear that song again? I was like, nah. I was working on my album at the time, and I was like, you know what? I could put this record out. And while I'm working on my album, you know, while I'm working on the album. And we put the song out, and it went to #1 in like 3 weeks. It was like yo, Rex is #1. I'm like, #1 is like my first #1. I never had a #1 gospel record. Like, I never had a #1 record pick. I never even had a top 20. I hadn't had a top 100.
Right.
Look at that.
So to put a record out and it go to straight to #1, like, was blowing my mind. Yeah. But I just got a role for another lead play that starts in January.
Word. Okay.
So I got a new album coming out, top of the year, new play. I'm chilling right now, but it's a lot going on that's gonna be happening. So,
right, so
more acting. And this play is called. Look, that's my assistant, my manager's on there, Katina. Hey, Katina.
What's up, Katina? How you doing, Katina?
She takes very good care of me, y'all. I'll be lost without her every day, and I'm a lot to deal with too. So trust me. This play is called "When Two Storms Collide," and I'm the main character. I'm the main character in this time. Okay. And the storm is gonna be in it, and so more acting, a bunch of more acting. Yep.
So it's gonna be a tour for this and all that? I said, is it going to be a tour for this play?
It's gonna be on tour.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the length of it, but it is gonna be in different cities.
Okay.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. So, another question I want to ask you, as far as like the industry wise, what's the difference between being like being independent and being a signed artist? Like, what's the
money?
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. Us independents, we gotta radio to get your song on the radio. And we ain't supposed to be talking about this because y'all know payola was shot down by the government back in the 70s. Like, but you can't knock people hustle. To get your record on the radio, and I tell a lot of artists this, they're like, oh, I got this new record. Yo, radio he about to. And I just be looking at them like, bro, radio ain't about to do nothing, bro. Do you not know how this works? It's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get your song on the radio. Really? And you still gotta have that politic person that know how to go to these stations and do it. So you know, you can be rich, have the money. That don't mean you go on the radio. Now you gotta know the right people that goes and makes it happen. So it's a lot, man. So it's money. Yeah. What the label is, it's a bank loan. Okay. What they do is they say, you know what? Here's 50 million. And you on planes and you nice clothes and you it's a loan. Mm-hmm. They pay for you to get on the radio, they pay for you to get on BET, they pay for you to win awards, they pay for you to do this. But then when it starts getting tricky is when you're famous and you're on TV and you can't pay your rent. And you're like, what's going on? I'm all over the place. Why am I broke? Because before you get $1 back, they want to recoup every single dime that you got. So that's the difference. Us independents, we got to put the money up first. I paid for my own record, The Storm, to get on the radio. I paid for that. Me, Rex. You know, I didn't have no label, you know. So I think, and I talk to a lot of artists, and I know a lot of up-and-coming artists really, this be the problem. Millions of songs, but don't have the money to get in the studio to record it. Don't have the money for the engineer to mix it. Don't have the money for the engineer to mix. So you got to pay for the studio time, pay for the engineering, pay for the mastering. Then you need to pay for it to go on the radio. Then you need to pay for the cover. Then you need to pay, like, it's a lot of money. And what the labels do is they just give it to you up front so you don't have to worry about it. But you do have to end up paying them back at the end. And a lot of people make it. They get that loan money and the label make their money back, and then they're able to make money themselves.
But I guess if you flop, then you're screwed. You know.
Bro, that's what I always wondered. If you flop, do they send that to the collection agency like, are you in debt now?
That's a good question.
Or do they say, you know what, don't worry about it, my brother. We tried it. It didn't work out. Just go on. Right. Or do you be sitting at home with that record company bill still coming in the mail?
You want their money back.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you why the Jews stay rich is because they collect every penny. They don't care what's talking about. They want their money.
Yeah. True. So, would you ever? With that being said, would you ever sign to a major label, knowing that information? I'm pretty sure you would probably do things a different way if you was to, but yeah.
I'm going to answer Moti's, you know, people on here saying something. He said you will always end up paying the labels more than the advance. Oh, heck yeah. And sometimes you got to pay the advance back.
Yeah.
They say, here's $50,000 up front, and they sign that right and rest with the bill. You know. I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, so knowing that information, would you ever sign to a major label?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna tell you this: if you're a smart businessman, you take that opportunity and you make your own opportunity out of it. A lot of people take the opportunity and don't make opportunities out of it. Mm-hmm. The label, that money will put you places that as an independent artist I could never get.
Right.
So what I do is I make sure that I'm making money off of the money that they giving me.
No.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Get your clothing line. you know, get this deal, open your, you know, you got to put your money other places so that you can make sure that that money's coming back. But it's a lot of places as an indie that you'll never get unless God put you there, you know. But I'm just saying in reality, unless, you know, you have that machine behind you. So yeah, I want to sign a deal, but I'm not gonna sign no deal. If a record companies come to me right now, I'm gonna say, look, bro, I'm already Stellar nominated.
Yeah.
I'm already winning awards. I'm already on tour. I'm already on BET. I'm already, like, don't come to me with pennies, or I'll just be happy just making people feel good with music.
Yeah.
What does success mean to you? A Grammy? To me, that's not success. I don't care. That's not success to me. Success is putting out great music and people walking away hearing it and they changing their life. When we die, God ain't gonna care nothing about no Grammy. He gonna say, what did you do? Forget an American Music Award.
Yeah.
And we are living so that we can live again. Not to satisfy all this stuff like down here on earth. I'd rather be 80 and healthy and free in my mind and free in my spirit and on the corner singing than tied up to a record deal and stressed out on drugs and dead like Michael, Whitney, Prince, Marvin Gaye.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
So, what would you tell anybody coming in the industry? Like, what do they need to do if you're coming in the industry? Like, what advice would you give somebody, man?
Well, I would say, like Whitney Houston's mother told her, do you want to be a singer or do you want to be in the business? Because it's two totally different things. If you just want to be a singer, then you can just be a singer. You can go anywhere and sing and bless people. But if you want to be in the business, then you have to abide by the business. It's a business, no matter what way you look at it. Like, and you have to abide by the rules of the business to be in the business. If you don't want to be in the business, then get out of it and go sing and put your music out and do what you want to do and don't have to listen to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, know what you want to do. Know if you want to just be a talented person out here and bless people, or if you want to be in the business.
Yeah.
And also, you have to know that God has actually called you to do this.
Yes.
You know how many singers that I see out here? Oh, Lord have mercy. Talking about they're going to get a record deal, and they are putting all their hopes into this singing career and can't sing.
Much people need to hear this.
Yeah.
You gotta know, first of all, that God has really called you to do this.
Yeah.
Know your calling. And if you don't know it, get on your knees and pray. Say, God, you know what? What did you call me here to do? Just show me. He will show you.
Right.
Because we have gifts and we have talents. And then we have things that God has put us here for. Just because you can play basketball don't mean God called you on this earth to be in the NBA. That's just probably a little talent that you got that you should just go and play with your homies on the street and just enjoy the basketball game. Don't try to go for the NBA because it's not that's not what it is. So you have to know what God has called you here to do. You know what I'm saying? And if you know for a fact and you don't pray it and God done showed you, then it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of timing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say. I would say know whether you want to be in the business or you just, and you know, because that whole business is a whole other thing. Or if you just want to sing, you know, and just bless everybody. So I mean, those two things, what I would say. And then I would say, if you know for a fact those two things, then you move on to the next level, which is just be consistent and just keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
And in his time, it'll happen. If you know those two things for a fact, then in time it'll happen. It's just a timing thing. You know, it could happen when you're 50. It could happen when you're 22. It could happen when you're 13. It could happen. We don't know, you know. So you just pray like, God, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just going to keep doing it until you say.
Yeah.
Amen. You got to be patient.
Yep.
Oh, Trina, you got anything?
He done said everything.
All right.
This was fun,
Okay.
man. Thank y'all for having me.
So,
I hope y'all enjoyed this.
All day.
I'm a people person. I love people, you know, and I try to be as transformational with information as I can. So I hope that somebody out there heard something today that hope somebody learned something today.
Absolutely, man. I gotta ask you a question. Like, far as the industry, right? So we know it's a whole bunch of you're actually in the industry, but you know we got I know you hear about certain things in the industry, Illuminati, all of this, and all of this crazy stuff going on, man. Some people turn a blind eye. Do you feel like that there's actual things that going on in the industry that you know that happens in the industry, you know, stuff like that?
I tell people, God said, "He whose mind is stayed on me, I will keep you in perfect peace."
Yeah.
You can't allow everything into your system. You don't even bother it. Like if somebody comes to me and says something that my best friend said, before they could get their lips to moving, I shut it down. No, we're not. I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Even if my best friend said it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to protect your energy and protect what you allow to affect your brain and your heart. You got to protect that.
Amen.
So when people come to me with that Illuminati talk, I shut it down. Illuminati, I don't even hear that. I don't talk about it. Next subject.
Yeah. There you go. There you go, man. So
do I think it's real? I'll be real with you. Do I think it's real? I do think it's real.
Yeah.
You know, have I had a personal experience with it? No.
Yeah.
But the music business was built off of drug money.
Mm-hmm.
Who you know in the music business had a job and made all this stuff happen? We know that it comes from gangsters. It comes from the hood. It comes from the mob. It's built off of something that ain't right.
Yeah.
But God said, I'll take the wrong and make it right. Not that we can't use it as a tool, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just know what you're getting yourself into. You know, we know the Bloods putting up money for a lot of these artists. We know they wouldn't be who they are if they wasn't affiliated with these gangs.
Yeah.
And we could take this back to when the music business started. If you do your history and you know like how the music game started, like
it's been going on for a long time. Yeah,
it wasn't two preachers that sat down and said God is good. We're gonna start the music business,
right?
You know, so I think it's real. But you just gotta be strong, man, and know who you are, or they'll get you.
Yeah.
They ain't got me. They ain't approached me yet, though. I'm telling you. I don't know. I don't know what they waiting on. You know what I'm saying? They probably say, you know what, Rex ain't messing with us. We ain't bothering him.
That's right. You gotta stay prayed up, man. So, what can we expect in the future with your new album, and like, what's the difference between your past two previous albums and your new album that you're working on? What can we expect from that, man?
So this album, man, is gonna be more live instruments. Like I did like tracks, which is great. You know, they were great albums, but I'm just in a I want to hear like mint condition, you know, like drums and guitars and just live music. So it's gonna be more live instrumentations, but it's where it's where I am right now in my life, and a lot of it ain't right. A lot of it is right, but I think the honesty of it is what's gonna touch a lot of people. The live instruments, it's like gospel mint condition, and just the honesty of what I'm going through in my life, and just being more open with people and letting people more into my life. I'm about to get my face tatted. You see my face? Y'all see it? It's clean now. There's about to be some tats going on. I always wanted to do that. And a lot of stuff I haven't done that I want to do because I was always just worried about the next person and what they was going to say and what they was going to think. And right now I'm just in a free place where I don't care. Like I have a personal relationship with God, and when I die, it's going to be me and God. Joey not going to be there. It's going to be me and him, and he going to sing. Yeah, so a lot of live imitation. And it's called The Best of My Life. And if that's the first single, it's The Best of My Life. And it just talks about how I've been just going through so much my whole life and just struggling to find out who I am, struggling, trying to please people, just, you know, all the struggles. And now I feel like I'm finally at a place, and I'm declaring that these years that I got left are going to be the best. And it's called The Best of My Life. And my
rock star there you go.
I'm declaring, man. I'm 42, and I've been through it, and I've learned, and it's called the rest of my life is gonna be the best of my life, and that's what this album is about. It's about trials and tribulations. And I'm talking about myself in this. But the rest of my life is going to be the best of my life. That's the new slogan.
And we can say, what's the name of this album? What's going to be the name of this album?
It's called The Best of My Life.
The Best of My Life. Okay. Gotcha. You got a date so far yet or not?
Nope. But the single drops on my birthday, November 18th.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So we got a while, you know, but what happens is it takes us months to play. Like we're planning January, February, March, April, but it takes us months to plan it. So we planning now in July, August for what's gonna happen then. So the best of my life, man, and man, it's amazing, and it is. I can't wait. I just can't wait to. I can't wait to share it with y'all, man.
Yeah, man. We can't wait for it to drop. We cannot wait for it to drop, man. Well, man, I want to thank you for hopping on this live with us today, man. It was good speaking with you, man. This is good interview talking to you, man. Very transparent.
I'm so glad. I know y'all just starting, man. I just want to encourage y'all, man, just to keep going, and just keep going, man. And I mean, you guys, great people. I think God's gonna bless y'all what y'all doing. Just stay consistent, keep going. You know, study other podcasts, study other hosts. You know, but like y'all gave me questions today that I've never been asked before. So yeah, my album is out right now. So if you go to my Bandcamp, because I mean I get the money right now.
Hey.
You know, Bandcamp for all you artists. If you put your record on Bandcamp, they will give you the money immediately, and you get 90% of the money. iTunes, y'all see that? Kanye West said my next album ain't on no iTunes, no none of that. Because what they do is they get 90. Man, they ripping us off. They get beyond the percentage that they're supposed to get, and then at the end of the day, we get not a penny, we get 0 points.
What?
So it has to be a few before that, and it even adds up to cents. You know what I'm saying? On some of these things.
Okay.
So you got artists coming out now that's taking their music off of it and putting their own side up and saying, look, y'all want it? Y'all come here and get it. At least I know I'm going to get the money's worth that I know I'm supposed to get. So my album is out right now, the package on Bandcamp. It features Robert Curry from Day 26. Y'all know that's one of my groups I work with. T-Soul is on there. It's an amazing album.
Y'all get the package out in stores now. If you want to follow T-Rex, y'all know where to find them.
And y'all get y'all
Appreciate talking to you.
Cause she do her job, I'm telling you.
Pandora, she in the building. Pandora down there with y'all. She in South Carolina somewhere.
Okay. Shout out Pandora.
Look, this is my wall. Look.
Oh, let's see what you got back there. Oh, I see the Mary-J in the background. Ooh, okay.
Shaka Khan, Whitney Houston, you know what I'm saying?
A little bit of the music legends in the background.
How
wrong with that?
Man. They keep me inspired. But yeah, I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I love both of y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate this. And y'all let me know where it's gonna be at so I can share it with everybody that haven't been able to see it on the live today.
Absolutely,
and thanks to everybody
man.
that tuned in, man. We had people coming in and out. Like everybody in and out.
Definitely.
It was dope.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good one.
Take it easy, brother.